girls, grab your beers.
Hey everybody, this is Charlie from Anthrax, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle.
This is Mark Metcalf, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle with Bailey on Domain Cleveland Radio.
You are listening to today's Boondoggle with Bailey on Domain Cleveland Radio. Yes, Kato Kalin listens to this all the time.
Welcome to today's Boondoggle. Now here's your host.
I am Monty Heath, so one Heath, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle.
Hey, what's up? It's John from Skillet, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle on Domain Cleveland Radio.
Fasten your seatbelts.
Louder Than Life, September 21st through the 24th in Louisville with Foo Fighters, Green Day, Tool, Avenged Sevenfold, Godsmack, Limp Bizkit, Pantera, Queens of the Stone Age, Weezer, Megadeth, Turnstile, and many more. Get your passes on sale now at louderthanlifefestival.com.
What's going on, everybody? It's Bill Bailey with today's Boondoggle. And real quick housekeeping note, if you're watching us on YouTube or Rumble or BitChute or Odyssey, please hit that follow and subscribe button. If you're listening to us on Spotify, Google, Apple, whatever podcast platform you use, please hit that follow and subscribe button so we can continue to bring you conversations like the one I'm about to bring you today. We're going to be talking about selling some souls with Jake Davies of the band Of Limbo. What's going on, Jake?
Hey, how's it going, dude?
Good, man, good. Yeah, so usually when I have somebody on for the first time, I like to go get a little bit of a quick background. So do you remember originally what did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh, shit. I think it's pretty much always been musician, dude. Yeah, I don't think it's changed too much. Maybe artist. I dabbled in that for a while.
Okay, all right. And then, like, do you remember, like, you know, some of your earliest, being exposed to music, some of the musicians, and what was it that, like, kind of drew you in?
I think the first tape I ever bought was Paula Abdul. Straight up now, tell me, is it really gonna be you and me forever? Ow, ow, ow. I think that was Paula Abdul. Anyway,
nice. Yeah, that was her.
But as I got to about 9 or 10, I started living in the Nirvana, Alice in Chains, Metallica world. And I guess that must have been a pretty formative period for me because not much has changed since then.
Awesome. And then, like, when did you start doing your own, like, singing and performing?
Oh, dude. Me and my little brother had always played guitar together, writing riffs, and it was never really a making a band serious thing for me until he moved out here with me. He was going to Berklee College of Music in Boston, and he just stayed with me one summer, and we started getting wasted every night and just playing guitar every night, and all these fucking songs are pouring out of us, so we couldn't record them fast enough and just decided it was time for him to do what all good Berklee Music School students do and drop out and come live with me in California. And we just started making music all the time, dude, and haven't looked back since.
That's great. And then, like, what was the music scene like originally? Like, for you, like, I see you grew up in Melbourne, Australia.
Yeah.
What was the music scene like?
Melbourne, Australia didn't have too much, music didn't have too much of a scene or part of a scene for my life, at least when we lived in Australia. That was quite a while ago. We've been in Long Beach now for about 10 years, I think. So the band has always existed in Long Beach. It was never something we did in Melbourne and then brought over here, other than the fact that we have a few riffs that we wrote back when we were kids that we still use today. But as far as the scene here, it was great when we were first starting, there was no we didn't know who to play with because there was no other rock bands. It was kind of it was like that Strokes thing was happening. And then there was like, in Long Beach, always punk and there's always reggae, but we didn't know any other hard rock bands. And then seemingly as we kind of got our shit together at exactly the same time, this band Them Evils was starting to play and this other band Joyous Wolf was starting to play. So we played shows together with those guys on and off for years. And then, yeah, one thing just led to another and we moved our way up the chain of command and have been touring with big names like Candlebox and Buck Cherry and Wolf Mother and other stuff since then.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then like when you originally like what led you to Long Beach, from Australia?
So mom married an Australian guy who is my little brother Luke's dad, my stepdad. Married him when I was like 7 or something, moved us out to Australia, but we'd always planned to come back to America and, live the American dream.
Okay, so you originally were born here in the States then, huh?
I was born in Alaska. I lived in Hawaii till I was like 7. And yeah, mom moved around a lot and got married a few times. And then she finally stuck with the Australian one.
Well, quite a traveler. So that's,
Yeah. It was good for a kid.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, and you mentioned like your brother did, have like a cup of coffee at Berklee for a little bit. A couple semesters, or how long was he there?
I think he was there. I think he was there for like a year. And after, the first full year of being there, it was summertime. He's like, well, I'm not going to go back to Australia. And it also doesn't make a lot of sense to stay in Boston and pay for board over here. So I just moved into my beach shack in Long Beach for a couple months. And it was just like, this is the life to live. So this is the life worth living. So we never looked back from that.
Yeah, I've had a couple bands that have graduated from Berklee on the show and heard a lot about the process of getting in there and everything that they learned and carried into their careers. So I'm like wondering maybe like what he kind of, when he came out to stay with you, what did he bring that he learned from there into?
Well, he was there for jazz guitar. He's a hell of a I don't want to say music theorist. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but he knows his theory back to front. And if you're a fairly accomplished jazz guitarist, you can probably play just about any form of music you want to. So translating that into the sort of grungy hard rock kind of thing that we were making together, I think because he has such a firm grasp of chords and all of the modes and diminished sevenths and all the crap that I don't know very much about, because he has such a firm grasp on all that, he can paint a hell of a lot of different colors in the music that are typically not so common in hard rock music.
Yeah. And then, so like, he comes out to stay with you. Wasn't originally like planning on staying, just kind of like visiting from Berklee, but then you guys, is that when like Of Limbo came together for you then?
That's pretty much it, dude. We're having so much fun writing all these riffs together and making these songs. And then it got to a point where we're just like, well, I guess we should just actually try and make this a band. And one night while he was trashed, he's sitting back in the chair and he's sort of like in and out of sleep. And I look over and I'm like, how you feeling, Lukey boy? And he goes, oh, I don't know. I'm a little bit left of limbo, mate. So we went with Left of Limbo as the band name for a while. And then Left of Limbo sounded too verbing the noun, one of those metal band names, like stabbing the drama, piercing the veil, igniting your existence, those kind of cheesy metal band names. So we just cut it to Of Limbo. And a lot of people were like, that's a terrible name. But even our booking agency originally, they didn't want to take us on because they thought it was a terrible band name. But I mean, what the hell does fucking Pearl Jam mean in the end? It's like eventually when the band takes on its own level of success and household namery, the name just becomes who the band is rather than what the definition of those words are.
Yeah, I agree. And like, Yeah, that was going to be my next question, how that came together. I love that story. That's good stuff. And then, yeah, good argument. It's like, yeah, what is Pearl Jam?
Or Red Hot Chili Peppers. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of great band names in the world, like Nirvana, The Doors, Metallica, but shit, there's a lot of, what the hell does that mean names too? And I can, we've made up 100 different reasons for what Of Limbo can mean. Oh, the music's here nor there. It's in limbo. And we're very, like, we change up our style all the time, so it can never be pinned down. We can make up all that kind of crap all day, but no, the reality is he was just trashed, and he said some funny thing about Left of Limbo, and we're like, oh, that sounds like a band name. Let's just run with that.
Well, I like it. And, it should be more about the music anyway, speaking for itself, It's like,
totally.
But, so you guys then, they came up with the band. Like, how long have you been of Limbo, and what's the growth been for you guys?
Our first show, I believe, was 2016, which sounds wild to say because that is a long time ago now. But yeah, it's been an interesting path. We were on our way to our first national tour with Blacktop Mojo and Joyous Wolf, and we got into a crazy van accident, so that put us out of commission for quite a while. Luckily, we all survived it. I got a metal leg now. Well, not fully metal, but nice rod inside the shin. So that put us out for a little while, and then once things started kicking up and running again, we were touring with Wolf Mother, and all these great things are happening, and then boom, pandemic hit. So we're like, oh god, it's another fucking who knows how long out the window of us not being able to tour. But then as soon as the sort of light was coming out from the end of the tunnel, we got the call that Buck Cherry was down to go start touring again when nobody else was really willing to at that point. And of course, we jumped at the chance. So we hopped on with them and did about a month and a half with them. That was great. And that led to Candlebox. And yeah, we've just been writing, recording, and touring and doing the damn thing as much as we can.
So yeah, so you guys were like, amping up, and then, pandemic hits, and then you're kind of living up to your name, and everything's like Of Limbo.
Yeah.
Out there in the music industry. But, I mean, I've read like so much about like how the state of things were going around that time. And that's when like this podcast actually really started hopping, because I had to do things like this, it used to be like on site talking to the artists and stuff like this. So, I mean, I'm kind of grateful for how things turned out but going through that uncertainty, it's like everybody was just like so many different stories I was hearing across the world, of how they handled things. And I heard like it was exceptionally brutal back in Australia. Do you guys still have like family and friends back there?
Yeah, mom and dad still live in Melbourne, Australia, and it was absolutely brutal over there, dude. Their restrictions were complete totalitarian regime. Mom called us one day crying because they wouldn't let them outside but for like 20 minutes of fucking yard time a day. We had to be masked up, and she called us crying. She just wants to do yoga. It fucking broke my heart, dude. So yeah, Australia was pretty much the worst. I think New Zealand was really bad too, and I think Canada was pretty bad. But shit, some of the stuff I was seeing coming out of Australia, of them, the cops choking people on the street for not wearing masks, it's just like the most, shows you how quickly like a sector of people can follow this, the most crazy shit if you whip them into a fear frenzy. I don't want to make the Nazi analogy, as many have, but shit, there's countless other analogies where some really bad news things happening, and if you get the right sort of figureheads and whip it up with the right sort of campaigns of things for people to be afraid of, fuck, you get them to do just about anything willingly.
Oh yeah, dude, and you're speaking my language. I've had a couple episodes like taken down from YouTube because we were like hitting a nerve or something with our conversations. But it's just like, dude, ask questions. If you can't critically think and say, hey, this is right and this is wrong, then what kind of world are we living in, man?
Yeah. If you can't even ask, is this right or is this wrong? You have to just be, I accept your godly words. God, Dr. Fauci, thank you. Bless me again.
Exactly.
Something's not right.
And I heard like here in the States, different states, handled it much differently. Like, I was hearing things about California, but if California was a cakewalk compared to Australia, I guess it wasn't
totally
so bad.
Definitely a cakewalk compared to Australia, but it was also like when we went on that Buck Cherry tour, it was just like crossing a curtain. Once we got out of California, it was like, oh my God, you guys are allowed to live lives and you're allowed to go to the bars again. You're allowed to eat in restaurants and you're allowed to just like live like normal human beings. And it was just crazy. And then when we crossed back in, I was like, after we'd been like hanging out with sweaty rock and roll crowds every night, arm in arm, taking photos, taking shots together, all the rest of it. And we crossed the curtain back into California. And then boom, boom, you see more and more of the masks on everyone outside and their cars by themselves. I'm like, oh shit, they're still doing this. No, I forgot. I almost forgot that it even existed.
Yeah, it's like surprised you didn't have to like go through any kind of like testing just to come back into California. You were out there amongst the sweat and the sickness.
Yeah, luckily they didn't force an anal swab or a quarantine on us in Newsom's personal gas chamber layer or anything like that. We were able to cross in and out freely.
Good to hear, man. It's I don't know, it's pretty crazy too. It's like, I don't know how much you get caught up in the stuff out there today, but they're talking about, here we going into September, talking about trying to bring all that shit back. And I'm hoping a lot more people are like, fuck you, work for us,
Yeah, fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, shame on you. No, but the other way around, you know what the hell I'm saying.
Yeah,
I think they've bitten off a hell of a lot more than they can chew on the last one. So there's a lot of people that were very willing and susceptible to whatever they were pushing at the time. But yeah, I don't think they're going to be as compliant overall this time.
Yeah, I hope not, man. But like you say, when people are in that state of fear, that low vibration, man, it's just like easily it's definitely a big like psychological operation worldwide, it seemed.
Totally.
But all right, before we become like the Alex Jones show, I guess I'll get back to talking about
it always happens with me. I try not to, but it always comes into that.
No, I like it, dude, because like I said, I've had episodes like that. I've had G. Edward Griffin on here. I don't know if you're familiar with his work, but he's he was the guy that interviewed that KGB defector Bremovich, Yuri Bremovich or whatever. It talked about the stages of taking down America, and
gotcha. I think I did see that little YouTube clip of the subservience and changing culture, and
yeah. So I'm big into that stuff, but
nice.
So the conversations are always welcome here. This is still a free critical thinking zone show until the places I broadcast it shut it down. But so working with you guys working on this latest album, what was it like getting into the Fab Factory Studios?
Fab Factory Studios is where our buddy Mike Pepe resides and handles his biz now. He was at Barefoot Studios in Hollywood, which is a very famous studio, but they shut their doors and he had to find a new home, and luckily Fab Factory Studios was it, and we had a great time in there with him.
And then I was checking out your video for your latest video for your track California Demon.
That's right alongside with all the conspiracy theory stuff too, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like I was getting out, but now we're back in. But as I was watching it, I was checking it out, and I was just like, man, is this song about like Billie Eilish or something? Or
Yeah,
it was like, she was blessed with a magnificent upper body and voice, and but I've seen, like, I read, I think you guys were talking about like your uncle or whatever.
Yeah,
he's like,
you remind me of him a little bit, actually, dude.
yeah, it sounds like me and him would hit it off.
Yeah, well, me and him hit it off too, and that was kind of the funny thing, is that he was really the inspiration for the song in a lot of ways, with all of the wild, more extreme end of conspiracy stuff that he sends us. Like he'd send us the, oh shit, have a look at this. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie are sacrificing babies and drinking the blood and all the rest of it. And he'd send us all this like stuff about satanic conspiracies and all that. And I take most of it with a grain of salt, but I always found it like just a very entertaining subject. And even if it's all pageantry as far as the Billie Eilishs of the world and the Dojo Cats and the Sam Smiths and all that, even if it is just pageantry and theatrics, I think the concept of it, instead of being just a metaphor for selling your soul for fame and fortune, giving up your artistic integrity, if you actually took it literally as like, oh shit, you're signing a contract with the devil, I just find that, like, I don't know, making the Faustian bargain. I think that's just such a entertaining idea to me, So we thought, if it's actually real, well, let's fucking make a song about it if it was actually real.
Well, I liked, like, I mean, back in the day, it was like more like the, the metal world. It was the pageantry of like the, like the Black Sabbaths and, metal bands. But like, as you said, now it's like, it's like pop culture, stage shows. Like I go see Marilyn Manson for that stuff, and now it's like, now
it's happening on Taylor Swift stage.
Yeah, exactly. And it's crazy when you go down the rabbit holes with all the symbols and stuff. But I've seen some of the videos that your uncle's talking about, like Katy Perry, I think, and Bob Dylan and them, just admitting on tape.
We actually made a like trailer, like teaser trailer leading up to the release of this video, where we got the girl in the devil suit to sit on top of an old CRT TV, and I ran through the TV all those old interviews of Bob Dylan saying, "Oh yeah, sold my soul, made a bargain a long time ago with the captain of this world and the next." And it was like a bunch of clips of all of these different Katy Perry's and Sam Smiths and whatever I could find. There's one of Brad Pitt, even whatever I could find of them saying these kind of, I made a deal with the devil kind of lines. Chopped it all up and then interspliced a little bit of our video in there too. So yeah, I'm very familiar with all of those satanic panic clips.
Yeah. And then let's talk about the making of your video, then, behind the scenes, like what went into that, and working with what was his name, Tony Vercelli.
Tony Vercelli, yeah. Tony's a great director. We've done quite a few videos with him now. Well, let me think of some interesting stories for you about it. I don't know if you noticed the gurney that she's laying on when the devil guy's like wheeling her through before she's about to get plastic surgery. Our cousin actually works at a hospital, and I'm not going to some prop house and spending $1,000 to rent a fucking gurney. So I just called up my cousin who works in the hospital. She snuck me in the back door, told me to wear like a workman's outfit and put my hair in a ponytail, snuck me in the back door and hooked me up with the maintenance guy. And the maintenance guy brought me up some like, what do you call it? Staff only elevator shaft. And then brought me into a graveyard of all these gurneys that were like half operational and said, all right, dude, take your pick, take whatever one you want. Picked out a gurney, sort of snuck it around the back, and then had to like hoist it into the back of our van without too many people seeing and thinking we're just like making off with some fucking hospital property. But yeah, it was a lot of just pulling random crap together, stuff like that happened. We have a homeless guy that hangs out around the area, and we knew for the main sort of first scene that Luke's playing guitar in, we wanted kind of like LA dystopia full of tents and all the hobo crap and fucking whatever. So we knew we needed a shopping cart. So we asked the hobo outside, dude, we call him Jack, like, Jack, Can you hook us up with a shopping cart? So, oh, I got you, boys. So Jack went and sold us a shopping cart, and we gave him $20. And I don't know where the shopping cart is now, but it was returned to Jack, but I don't think Jack returned it to where he stole it from.
Yeah, Jack's probably selling it on eBay now. Look, it's in this latest video.
I don't think Jack has an eBay store. I don't think Jack. I think Jack's struggling to get internet connection, to be honest.
And then, I liked, that there's like, I always like try and look into the little scenes in videos and stuff too. And it just seemed like it was, the message was being sent when before she goes in for the plastic surgery and the bargain with the devil. It's like, she's like looking all like sweet and innocent, has the crucifix around her neck. And then there's that scene where she's like swallowing it.
Yeah. She's like licking it upside down.
Yeah. A lot of real risque stuff in there. Definitely the kind of things that the uncle disowned us for. And then even at the end, she's got the lips and all that, looking like Bride of Frankenstein or something, but that's like, Hollywood or whatever today. But like, what was like the main message you guys were sending with the,
it's the when you do sign your soul away to make this little deal with whatever Hollywood types, blah blah blah, they're gonna botch you. They're gonna ruin your innocence. They're going to make you into a monster that maybe other people think is beautiful because some weird standards of inner and outer beauty today, as seen by whatever lens they're trying to fucking push it out. But yeah, it's essentially the corruption of innocence idea.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've seen this one video. Like my daughter sent me this TikTok of like Lady Gaga recently, like coming out of, I don't know if she's coming out of a hotel or something like that, and all the idol worship, all the people like, we love you, and filming her and all that stuff. But she's like moving like a reptile, like all like weird and like almost floating down the stairs and just
that's cool. I haven't seen that one.
Very like slow and odd and just like kind of like not really like acknowledging them like a normal like human.
She's above it all now. She's become the California demon. I mean, there's all those weird videos of her and Abramovich too, with all the fucking spirit cooking, whatever the hell those people are doing now. Damn, they're weird. It's just like whatever my mind could think up about, like if these Bohemian Grove people and like Eyes Wide Shut parties and stuff, whatever my imagination ever was, doesn't touch the kind of weird shit these people are actually fucking doing, dude. Their spirit cooking thing, when I saw those photos, I'm like, God damn, you people are weird.
Yeah, truth is stranger than fiction, man, for sure.
Yeah.
And then so you guys are living in California, you're getting this band going. Of course you want to be, you don't get into music to not want to play for bigger audiences and perform in like stadiums like Metallica's going around today and immortalize. Like, when do you think this will turn around and bite you and you'll actually be invited to one of those parties? And
I don't think Metallica's going to those parties either, man. I think that's a different demographic, and I highly doubt we'll ever get the wink and the nod. But maybe if they see this video and they think that we're promoting it, maybe we'll get the wink and the nod, and I'll be able to go to one of those Eyes Wide Shut parties, and there'll be scantily clad women everywhere and reptiles in the background with fucking curtains over them. God knows what else. And I'm probably there eating a baby with a fork. Fuck knows.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm cool with the wild sex orgies, but like, leave the kids alone, Yeah,
let's leave the kids out of it, and let's maybe leave the blood out of it and the ritual sacrifice out of it and all that kind of stuff. Let's just do the orgies alone.
Yeah. If we got to wear like a cloth mask to protect us from a virus and stuff, but we're going to go to blood spilling, drinking orgies. I don't know. Just seems a little counterintuitive.
Yeah.
But one more thing about the video too that I thought was cool with the effects, put it together. Setting Luke's guitar on fire.
Yeah, that wasn't an effect, dude. That was us literally dousing his guitar in lighter fluid and lighting his ass up. And it got pretty fucking hairy a couple times. So first of all, we'd like spray his hair and everything with flame retardant so that it didn't catch up instantly.
It was the first thing I thought when he was headbanging too, and you said it got pretty hairy. I was like, "Damn, how's he?"
It was definitely touch and go, but yeah, we put the flame retardant in his hair and a little bit on his gloves and on his suit, so that helped for the most part. But I mean, every take we did, he's like, "More. Okay, that was pretty good, but let's try some more. I'm like, God, dude, this is getting sketchy." So the last ones, when it was like really flaming up, it definitely caught up onto his sleeve. You can see it like catching on his glove for part of it, but then one of them, it caught up his sleeve. I had to run in with the wet blanket and cover him, and that was the end of that take. But we decided that was probably the last one for the day, but we got them all in there. It was the limbo way, as we call it, doing things down dirty and last minute, but somehow it's always worked out for us so far.
No, the visual is really good. I liked it on the drum pedal and stuff too.
Yeah, we burnt a hole in that drum head, so that's no longer usable. But I think we're gonna auction that off or make it a giveaway or something down the line.
Make it a fundraiser for Jack so he can get his internet connection and start his eBay store.
Jack's eBay. Maybe Jack. Yeah, get Jack internet, and he can be the one to auction it on his eBay store.
There you go. And then, you mentioned some of the bands that you've been out on the road with and stuff. I saw, you did mention Candlebox, but like, Kevin Martin seems to be, a big fan. I was reading some of his plugs on you guys. Like, how did that relationship develop? Was that from just being on tour together?
Well, it was actually kind of already the framework was set pretty good even before we met him, because we grew up in Melbourne, Australia, and Kevin's wife is Australian, so he spent a lot of time out in Australia. I don't know how many years ago. They live here in California now, but I know that they spent a lot of time together in Australia before that. I think they met in Paris or something like that. But anyway, he came in. Basically opened the door to the green room. How's it going, you cunts? In his funniest Australian accent he could do. So we had a lot of Australian banter back and forth while we were on tour with him, and just all those guys are just great dudes. No ego tripping diva bullshit. No running back to the bus. None of that stuff. It's just a bunch of cool dudes having a great time playing rock and roll to a bunch of people that love and adore their music, just like I did all my life.
And what's like, with the people you've been out on the road with, who's some of your favorite memories and the best bonds you made out there?
Oh, well, our best buds, Joyous Wolf, who are going through some changes right now. The singer has departed, so they're trying to find a new singer, and Nick, the singer, has started his own new band, The Props. We always had great times with them. Not sure how many naughty stories I should tell about all that, but we also made great friends with Small Town Titans, who's the last band we toured with, and that nearly ended in tragedy, but Limbo way, we managed to pull it off on the very last show with them. God, I can't remember. I think we're in Illinois. I can't remember where it was. We had throughout the tour, like, we'd watch their show, they'd watch our show, and we'd always rock out for each other because it helps the crowd get amongst it, blah, blah, blah. And countless times throughout their final song, Devil's Choir, me and Luke would run up on the stage and we'd get stage diving and all that kind of crap, and it just gets everybody hyped. But the final night, Luke goes for a stage dive, and the crowd was a little bit thinner at that point. So he goes for a stage dive like towards me, and that's a good idea because I'm probably one of the bigger ones there to try and catch him. But he dove like over my shoulder, and I kind of half caught one of his legs, ended up basically pile driving him into the ground. And he also took out this older lady in the audience. So we're both dazed and confused on the ground. And all of a sudden I feel this like stomping. The lady that he'd kicked over when he took me and her out, she'd gotten back up and then started stomping us while we were on the ground, like gang style, like American History X style. So I don't know. The security ripped her off or whatever, and then we eventually said sorry to her because we were the ones that knocked her over. No worries about the curb stomping, but we started to look at Luke's head. Back of his head's just gushing blood. We're like, okay, we actually have to go to the fucking ER now. So he hopped in the van and they stitched him up with that staple gun. I think he had like 12 staples put into his head. But
so was it the pile driver or the old lady stomp?
Yeah, was it the curb stomp or was it the pile drive that caused the head wound? I'm going to say a little bit from column A, a little bit from column B. That's my guess.
Wow. Yeah, and what's that say? She got up before you guys. Come on, man. Yeah. Well, I'm glad. Those kind of things can turn very ugly very quickly. Like that band, Every Time I Die. I think the lead singer's name is Keith something. Anyway, I saw a couple of years ago when they were still rocking together. This girl in the crowd at a festival sued him because he did the little, the walk out on the crowd thing that a lot of dudes are doing these days, where they sort of step on shoulders and then they're in the middle of the crowd and they're holding the mic up and blah, blah, blah. Some lady tried to sue him for bodily injury for, I don't even know what, just for walking half on top of her and half on top of a million other people. But like, you're at an Every Time I Die concert, Every Time I Die festival show, and you're in the fucking pit area. I feel like just there's a lot of people in this world that are looking for excuses to make money in the most nefarious, disgusting ways, and that would be an example of it. Yeah, it's why they have to write, contents may be hot on the McDonald's coffee cups now.
Exactly right. So I was just glad that this lady, the stomping lady, even though the stomping was probably unwarranted, I'm glad she wasn't one of these Suey McGee ladies that you'll be hearing from my lawyer.
No, she was more Shoey McGee.
Yeah, Shoey McGee, exactly. I mean, not that we have a penny to our names for her to take anyway, so I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah. But now I want to talk a little bit too about, I've read about your live show and like what can you tell us about like what fans can expect that may not have ever seen you guys perform live? What
it's as high energy as we can possibly make it, and I don't mean that in just the cheesy come on guys this kind of thing. It's like we're running around everywhere. We have a fan favorite song that we almost always close our set with called Let's Get Fucked Up. It's probably the dumbest song we'll ever write, but it gives rise to a hell of a lot of theatrics. Like Luke sits there with the solo and he'll hop down off the stage amongst the people, blah, 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 and he'll like put his head back, and then I'll start pouring the beer higher and higher, make the stream as long as we possibly can until it's fucking pouring all over him. And Jesus, what other kind of theatrics are there? It's
like your Andrew WK party hard, huh?
Like things just happen every time. There's beach balls that we bring out sometimes. That's always gets people going crazy. But yeah, it's a lot of high energy, old party rock and roll. Unlike the rock and roll that became more and more common in the 2000s, where everybody's just sort of standing there with their hands in their pockets, and then we try to get the crowd as involved with us, rocking out as much as possible. And if that means Luke has to hop down and run through it while playing solos and get them moving, then that is part of the whole thing that we will do.
Yeah, whatever gets the crowd leaving knowing that they've been to a rock show.
Yes, and make them feel like they were a part of it rather than just a passive observer, zombie like waiting for their turn to clap and have a sip of another drink like an automaton or something. Make them feel like they were a part of the whole show and that they were rocking out. And like you said, that they left feeling like they had a real vintage rock and roll experience.
And then out of your latest work, like what would you say is like been one of your favorites to play, favorite tracks to play live off the latest album?
We've only been doing singles for quite a while. We've only really got 2 EPs out ever. We're going to make a new EP, I think, next year. But it's been the singles game for a while. But I love playing this California Demon song live. Love watching Luke do the end bit with all the with the whammy bar. That's an absolute blast to play. But we got a few more newer surprises in store. We've been playing a lot of unplugged stuff lately. Very Alice in Chains style, MTV Unplugged style. And it's been fun reimagining a lot of our heavier songs into that context. So I've been enjoying that a hell of a lot lately, but I'm sure when the party machine turns back on and the touring starts happening in probably early October, I think is what we're hearing, then I'm sure all the old favorites of Let's Get Fucked Up and My Kind of Girl and all those fun and The Devil You Know and California Demon, they'll all come right back into fold, and we'll be having a blast playing those again.
Nice. And then what's some of your other goals going forward?
Goals going forward. Well, I think we're probably gonna catch up with a lot of the videos and songs we've recorded already but haven't put out for the rest of the year. And once all of those have finally seen the light of day, because we've got some that we shot even with our old drummer who's no longer in the band, and we've got to do a service to him and to Rob Gravely, our old bass player, and make sure that all the work that they were a part of does see the light of day at some timely fashion. And then once all that stuff's out there, I think we would love to record a full length, but that might not happen. It might be probably a 6-song EP early next year, ready to put out into the world for summer touring next year.
Okay, so that's the next time you guys will be hitting the road is summer next year?
No, I'm thinking we're probably going to hit it in early October this year.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Anything been announced yet?
That's what we're hearing, but you never know. I can't say anything too specific, because until it's nailed down absolutely, I've learned the hard way that it's not good to announce it, because then people get disappointed if things change, and if it's not the band we said we were originally going out with and it's a different band, then so I'm not gonna divulge too much about it, but it's being projected that early October is maybe when we're gonna go.
Okay, sounds good. Hopefully hit the Cleveland, Ohio area. So
baby. Oh,
yeah. And I want to ask you some of the questions I normally ask my guests before we get ready and wrap up. But you mentioned some of the bands that influenced you early on. But who are your top 3 artists today?
Jesus, we were talking about like modern bands that are recently started.
Well, I mean, or just they don't have to have been recently started, but I mean, if there's still any, like, even if there's still some, you're holding on to some of the original ones that got you into, who's like your top 3 go-to?
I mean, as I said, we started playing with Them Evils and Joyous Wolf. They were our first buds out here for sure. But as far as modern bands that are doing good stuff that I find entertaining to listen to, it's a band named Dead Poet Society. I think they've got great riffs. Blacktop Mojo, who we've been buds with for a long time, those guys out of Texas, I think they're great. I've
had Maddie on the show.
Nice. Well, Maddie's got like we were talking about him the other day. He's the kind of guy where if like the sound went out at the stadium when he had to sing Star Spangled Banner. He wouldn't need the microphone. He could just belt it out that loud that the whole damn stadium would hear him. He's got a huge voice, that guy.
Oh,
So
yeah.
big fan of theirs. Big fan of Royal Bliss. Dude, the list can go on forever. I'm blanking right now, but if you're listening to this and you're one of the bands that we're friends with, I meant to say you.
And then what?
Oh,
here's
by
a
the way,
question.
Candlebox's new album is awesome. Just everyone's got to listen to that. That's a great fucking album.
All right. And then I like asking this question, but I usually get like a similar answer from everybody, which means that something needs to change, obviously. But what class do you feel should be mandatory before graduating high school today?
Jesus. Well, English is mandatory, isn't it? I mean, we went to high school in Australia, so it's probably a little bit different of a system. What class should be mandatory? I'm gonna say music class. If people learned how to improvise music, I think that would get their minds operating in a fully functional way that they might not have used it all at once previously. I saw a EKG thing about like people hooked up to the EKG machine, and it was showing, you know, how it like lights up which parts of the brain are active during what kind of task, blah, blah, blah. They said there's no task in the world that, or no task that they tested that makes the entire, or so much of the entire brain light up at once as improvising music. So I thought,
Yeah,
I'll throw that one in there.
Yeah, I've read that. And like, you know, like with people in martial arts and stuff too, something a little bit similar, you know, to get both sides of the brain working at the same time.
Well, that's kind of pretty improvisational too, isn't it? Oh,
Yeah.
Another band just thought of Crowbot. Amazing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Crowbot's awesome.
Really good. And then, who are three people who've inspired you and you can credit for making you the person you are today?
Little brother's definitely a very regular inspiration to me. He's much more switched on unit than I am. My mom for sure, but if we're talking about like famous people, shit.
No, I'm talking about like just any people in general.
People. All right, yeah, definitely my mom, definitely my brother, and I'd say my uncle Raul was a pretty formulative character in my life. He's passed away now, but he was one hell of a character that I aspire to live like as much as I can.
Nice.
Yeah.
What? No Jack though, huh?
No, Jack. Do you know what? Jack is inspirational in his own way. He doesn't have everything in the world, but he's almost always happy, and he's living life on his terms. So I'd rather live like Jack than live in some job that I fucking hate, go home to a wife that can't stand me and doesn't want to fuck me, and a bunch of kids that fucking just stare into their phone screens while we're eating dinner together. I'd rather live Jack's life than that life any fucking day of the week.
Oh yeah. Amen. Yeah. And then, are there any causes or organizations that you support and you encourage others to check out?
I don't know exactly the right one. Somebody said it the other day, but definitely support the Maui fires. Don't want to go crazy conspiracy theory on that one, but a lot of things seem pretty weird about that to me. Either way, there are people that are suffering, and if you can find the right one to donate to that's not going to go to the fucking council or whoever the hell the mayor is, as long as it's going to the actual people, then I would say that would be a very worthy cause for donation right now.
Yeah, for sure. Not one of those money laundering organizations that always seem to hop in there. They put like, on the TV. Oh, we just had this other tragedy. Donate here.
Yeah, and then they take 80% of it, and if that, terrible.
Yeah. And then favorite toy as a child.
Favorite toy as a child. I was pretty partial to He-Man. I remember that. Pretty damn partial to He-Man. But I mean,
I was
my
a He-Man fan.
whole life changed when I got given a Nintendo when I was a kid. When I got the first Nintendo as a kid, I was just like, it was given to me by this guy Ralph DuPont. He was a friend of the family, I guess you would say. But although he's married with children now, it was my sneaking suspicion as I got a little bit older that maybe he was interested in my mom, and he thought the way in was, let's butter up Jake with Nintendo so she can see that I'm a slick Rick provider and going to give her a lavish lifestyle of Nintendos. So that was my theory. But anyway, that was the game changer toy for me. Fuck, I love that thing.
Nice. And obviously, it was a game changer literally for you, but not so much for Mr. DuPont.
Yes, no, sorry, DuPont. It never worked out for him that I know of.
And like He-Man, so ahead of his time, man. I mean, using pronouns before it was cool.
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't have She-Man now.
Oh, give it time.
Yeah, that'll be the Netflix reboot.
Oh man, it's great to talk to somebody in California that don't drink the Kool-Aid. I love it. Gives me hope.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Yeah, every time we're in Texas, they're like, "You're not moving here, though, right?" I'm like, "No, not yet. But if I do, trust me, I won't California your Texas." I'm one that definitely realizes that it's like a parasite, and once its host has been completely drained of all of its life force, then it moves on to infect new hosts, and I do see that happening in Texas, unfortunately. Hopefully it's a slow burn because there's enough Texans that are working against that kind of horrible trajectory and agenda.
Yeah, agree, 100.
We'll be the first to fall if any of them fall, though, I'll tell you what.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then any message that you have for our military members currently serving overseas?
Thanks, boys and boys and girls. Don't, just because it's an order doesn't mean you have to do it. Keep your own morals and integrity above all else. Our people behind our military are often not the greatest of people, even though the people that get into the military from the ground up are absolutely lovely and always have their heart in the right place and just want to do what's best for the country and their patriots. I hope more and more that the people that are pulling the strings and making giving the orders stop being so evil with those orders.
Amen.
Yeah.
Well, Jake, man, it's been good talking with you, man. I really enjoyed this conversation. I hope you guys make it through Cleveland so I can meet you in real time.
Absolutely, dude.
Now, for any of the fans out there that might be new to Of Limbo and want to support you guys and check you out and all that, where would you send them?
We're on all of the things, dude. We're on all of the social medias, all of the YouTubes, and all of that kind of stuff. If you wanted to buy a T-shirt or something, that's at oflimbo.com. But otherwise, most important for us right now is if you go watch some of our videos or listen to some of our songs and you like them, sharing is caring, baby. Send it out to 5, 10, 15, 20 of all of your best buddies that also have good taste like you do. Don't send it to people with shit taste because they won't like it. But if you have friends with good taste, send it to them because they'll like it.
Awesome, man. Jake, man, I really appreciate, like I said, this conversation. Brightened my day. My interview I had scheduled earlier had to get rescheduled, and I was kind of bummed, but you came through, man. I appreciate it. And then real quick before I let you go, you mind doing me a favor?
Yeah, hit me.
You want to mind cutting a promo ID for the show? Just introduce yourself. You're listening to today's Boondoggle.
Hey, this is Jake Davies from Of Limbo, and you're listening to today's one more time. Hey, this is Jake Davies from Of Limbo, and you're listening to today's Boondoggle.
Awesome.
All
Jake.
Right. That's a bit of a tongue twister, dude, to listening to today's Boondoggle. Got it in
Yeah. It is. It's tricky. But you nailed it, man.
Thanks,
Appreciate
man.
it.
It took me 2 tries.
Good talking to you. And maybe we could set up another one down the line and have your uncle on.
That sounds like a hell of a show, dude. We might have to obscure him, like those old 60 Minutes ones where they're like in the shadows.
Digitized, change his voice, a little bit.
Put a voice changer on. Maybe we'll put a voice changer on both of us. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Awesome.
I'll tell you where the real reptilians are hiding.
Yeah, I'll have to hit Ed up to set that up then.
All right, buddy. Thanks, man.
Right.
Bye.
Thanks. Take care.